Alright, this video is on harassing people. I have been harassing people since Natalie died. There's a reason for this. There was a time limit for these people to come forward, and they all procrastinated. Every one of them. They said that they would and just never did. Meanwhile, the statute of limitations done run out. And the people who knew what was going on afterwards, they're like, oh yeah, I'll say something, I'll write a report. No, you fucking won't. It's already too late. You wasted my fucking time. You claimed that you cared and then fucked me over intentionally. I'm gonna focus in this video mostly on Miss Peaches. There's a reason for this, and whether you give a shit or not doesn't matter. I'm still gonna speak. Because although I do care about your opinions, it's not for the reason that you might think. I care about your opinions because the things that you do are based on your opinions. With Miss Peaches claiming that she was going to come forward, claiming that she was gonna, and she just never did. A lot of the things that she claimed she was going to do ended up being bullshit. A lot of people said that they would do something after it was already too late for them to do it. Miss Peaches, for example. The night that I went over to Ken and Leah's and lit that fire, and then threatened the President of the United States' life to try to force the police to take a look at that evidence, I had to do that to try to force the police to look at evidence because Miss Peaches had not kept her word. She made the word, but she didn't keep it. That's not my choice. So those of you saying you chose this, you're fucking morons. Miss Peaches told me, well, you know, Sean, you shouldn't have done that. You know, me and Raja were thinking about having you pay a bill or something like that and having you take over the spare room. Because they're going to have the boys stay together in the same room. Well, when did she tell me that? Did she tell me that when it made a difference? Or did she just magically come up with that idea when it no longer made a difference? Because at that point, it had no longer made a difference for about 2 hours. I met her at work at the mall in Boulder, Colorado. Right after lighting that fire over at Ken and Leah's and threatening the President of the United States. Why do I break the law? To force someone to call 911. The cops obviously aren't going to listen to me when you have assaulting a police officer on your arrest record. Yeah, police don't give a fuck about you. They'll go out of their way to lie every fucking chance they get. You are automatically the bad guy because you were assaulted by an officer who repeatedly assaults people and gets away with it. Now, when I was in jail in Arapahoe County, Miss Peaches changed her tune entirely. See, there was a few people who tried to call her and get a hold of her, and somehow magically, she only was able to speak to one of them. And that was the mental health chick dude. He's with the public pretender's office. And this guy called up Miss Peaches, and Miss Peaches had told me this about the housing, about renting a room there, and, well, when she talked to this guy, she told him that she could only keep me for about 3 days. What changed in that amount of time? So, with all these people taking their dear sweet time and not keeping their fucking word until it was too late, yeah, I got to a very desperate situation where I had a deadline and it was coming up fucking quick. After I got out of the Arapahoe County Jail, no, actually the Larimer County Jail, I started recording people. I started recording my conversations with others. Prior to that, I had only tried to record conversations between me and police officers who did not answer their phone, and myself in the public pretender's offices who either didn't answer their phone, didn't return phone calls, or in the case of Larimer County, outright just bullshitted me for fucking 20-30 minutes until finally I started recording. And that's still on my Facebook, by the way. We'll use Miss Peaches as the example. That's Kayla Trujillo. She kept saying that she was going to come forward and she was going to come forward, and the fact is, she stopped when the police wouldn't listen, and the media didn't want to listen to her. This is according to her. She should have come out in public on her own. She should have come out on Facebook, on YouTube, anywhere that she could if she actually cared, instead of making repeated excuses. Like, yeah, Sean, if you come here, we'll go down to the sheriff's department and we'll go to an outside agency. We'll go talk to somebody. All right, Miss Peaches, let's set it up. But she didn't set it up with me. Now, there's a lot of stuff that Miss Peaches tried to help with, but the key word is tried. That help would have been actual help had she come forward, but she just never did. The things that she should have come forward with, I recorded in conversations with her. The things that she should have come forward about in January of 2017, or January of 2018, after Natalie disappeared. So I guess December of 2017, so even earlier than that, Miss Peaches should have gone in with me, actually with me, to help me make that report. But she just never did. Now, let me pause this for a second. What is it that made me decide to harass Miss Peaches? Well, Blaine Mercrelius, this is the boyfriend of Dawn Bird. She's the woman who assaulted me at Ken and Leah's. Matter of fact, she is literally the reason that I went to Miss Peaches' house for help. That's the situation right there that made it critical for me to go to Miss Peaches. Between that and the whole situation with Natalie and the situation where the guy who is supposed to be helping me, he's a friend of Nicole. Hold on a second. Fuck it, I can't even remember her last name. Anyway, his name is Jeff, and if you go through my videos, his last name is in there. I can't remember his last name off the top of my head. He wasn't getting back to me. It was the holiday season. He was supposed to help me get a lawyer, and he just never got around to it. And then after he was off of his Christmas break, it was fucking too late. I mean, Natalie was missing. She was already fucking dead by the time he ever fucking got back to me. I mean, it was a very fucked up situation. The things that Miss Peaches should have come forward about, I got her to talking, and I recorded that shit. You goddamn right. Same thing with Aaron Cockerham. Same thing with, well, a lot of people. You'd be surprised at who I have on my YouTube here. Who I recorded. I recorded a lot of people. I recorded Brent Jepson. And some people are pissed off about that. Well, Brent, you should have come forward. See, that's the thing, is that you aren't going to change America by complaining and complaining and complaining, but not taking an active role in changing it. Aaron Cockerham and Carl Rogers and Katie Cahill, and quite a few other people are actually on my YouTube. Evidence that the police just outright refused to even collect or look at evidence. There's evidence of that on my Facebook and my YouTube, and in the Real Justice for Natalie Bollinger No Drama group that was started by Katie Cahill. Now, in these conversations with these people, you get to hear about the people who bullied them, the people who threatened them, the people who harassed them, the fucking mean and cruel things that the Bollinger family and their friends were doing to anybody who tried to help me. Aaron Cockerham, the things that are in our Facebook Messenger, I'm going to try to make those public. The problem is it does take a very long time to do that. A 15-minute video, which is all the longer this thing will actually record, sometimes up to 20, depending on if it's black and white. If I turn off the lights, I can actually record more. But then it's just a black screen. It takes 45 minutes to an hour for it to download. A lot of people who should have come forward, I mean, I was fighting for them and their rights, like Ogre with his daughter Quilly. I have been fighting for him to get his daughter back for fucking ever, but he needs to work together with me in order to do that. There's a lot of people who did really fucked up shit. Why do I harass Miss Peaches? I do harass Miss Peaches. I tell her she's a piece of shit and she's a fucking liar, but you know what? She lied. She said she was going to make a police report. And you know what? The more situations that I encountered with her, the more police reports she needed to make. She was aware of a lot of fucked up shit that was happening, and she just didn't come forward. If you're just going to quit because it's not happening to you, you're a fucking jackass. Meanwhile, you have family who is taking care of you. You have family who is actually defending you. Miss Peaches, you should have come out in those groups about what was going on. You should have come out openly on your own Facebook about what was going on. While people were busy slandering my name, you were just watching it happen, Miss Peaches. That's cruelty. Do I harass Miss Peaches? Yes, I do. Why did I make that video saying that she made zero effort to go in with me to speak to the police? Well, first of all, she made zero effort to write a police report. Second of all, I was hoping, because me being nice and being decent and being pleasant wasn't getting a goddamn thing accomplished, I was hoping that by pissing her off, she'd get on there and she would tell the truth. She would defend herself and tell the truth. Now, I have her defending herself. She did so in Facebook Messenger, and I'll be able to go back through and get that and post it all on YouTube as well. But I mean, that all takes time. And then there's evidence that the police intentionally stole from me, like the ones in Wyoming. That is such a fucked up situation. And I have to write it all out too. I have to go to all of these different places, and people are like, oh, well, you can get a court date. You just have to fill out this piece of paper and you can go in. No, that's not how it works. I still have to have the ability to get there, which costs money. I still have to get somebody to go in with me so that I have a witness. Because police refuse to turn on their body cameras when you're trying to turn in other police officers. Imagine that. Police and hospitals across the board took part in helping to prevent evidence from being shown. I'm trying to show evidence to police officers instead of killing myself. And I want my life to end because police officers will not do their job, and I'm taking a hell of a lot of abuse and having everything in my life stolen from me. That should have never happened. I was hoping that Miss Peaches would get pissed off and actually defend herself on that post. She didn't, though. Instead, Raja got on That's her boyfriend. And he outright lied and slandered. He claimed that multiple people in his family went in with me to speak to the police. No, on the 29th of December, 2017, I went in by myself. Yes, Miss Peaches and some of her family members were in the building, but they were not with me. And at no point after that did Miss Peaches ever go in with me and sit down with me and the police. At any point in time. And she claimed that she would repeatedly, but then when I'd get there, she'd make excuse after excuse after excuse. Excuse me, Miss Peaches, keep your fucking word. Don't tell me you're gonna, and then when I get there, you fucking backtrack. Fuck you. What you did was wrong. And then you worked together with my predators. Blaine Mercrelius, who was threatening my life, a.k.a. Freak, a.k.a. Blaine. But you couldn't keep your word. Well, I'm at your house to get your help. Instead of listening to what I'm saying, you're ignoring me to play your fucking video games, and every so often, you spout out a word that you heard me say. Like that magically means that you've heard the whole thing. No, it doesn't. You didn't hear any of it. You were busy playing that game on your phone. And then when you weren't playing that game on your phone, you were busy talking, telling me how to think and how to feel and what I need to do. No, I need help doing